So in March of this year, the Pod Express came out to the surprise of a lot of people. I didn't really know this was going to be a thing particularly, but it's like a small format, which is like a simple way and a smaller way than any other Line 6 device of getting some pretty decent tones and a combination of amps. Now, move over Pod Express. It's time for the Pod Express Black. This time it's serious. What is this pedal? What's it going to do? We'll jump into it in the video.
This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses.
Now, the most important thing about these is, what amps are in there. And, of course, the Pod Express Black is geared more towards the gainier side of things. And so, with that in mind, we have Pure, which is based on a Paul Reed Smith Archon clean channel. We have Dirge, which is based on the Sun Model T, the bright channel. We have Crux, which is based on an Orange Rockaverb 100 Mark III dirty channel. We have Anvil, which is based on the legendary Line 6 Badonk, which was based on the Line 6 Big Bottom, which actually Misha Mansour from Periphery used to use that model on his Pod XT back in the day when he was making demos and stuff. Then we've got 5, which is Slay, the Paul Reed Smith Archon lead channel. So both channels of the PRS Archon. A bit of an underrated kind of modern amp, I think, that one. And then we have Mega, which is the Diesel VH4 Mega channel. And then we have Avant, which is amp 7. That's French for I want. It's not. For the Rev Generator 120 Red High Gain channel. Not only the amp's different, but we've got different effects on here, which are, again, geared more towards kind of like the heavier or even in some ways more ambient tones. So in the drive section, we've got Op Amp, which is the full tone OCD, which is kind of like a modified Tube Screamer. We've got LED, which is the Earthquaker Devices Plumes Mode 1. We've got Dist, which is Proco Rat with the LM308 Op Amp. And then we've got Fuzz, which is the Electro Harmonics Russian Big Muff Pi. This is really key with this one. We've also got boost models. So we've got Comp, which is the Ashley CLX52, which is Billy Sheehan's compressor. We've also got Mids, which is the Ibanez TS808 Tube Screamer. If, you know, for metal tones, using a Tube Screamer is pretty normal. We've got Dirty, which is the Exotic EP booster. We got Clean, which is the Earthquaker Devices Life boost circuit. So you're going to pair that with the Sun Model T for your kind of sun tones, right? Then in terms of modulation models, we've got Chorus, which is a Line 6 original 4-voice chorus. We've got Flanger, which is based on the Dyna Flanger, the Mic Mix Dyna Flanger. We got Phaser, which is based on the MXR Phase 90. Tremolo, which is based on the Boss pedal. And then we got delay and verb covered. So we got digital delay and then a tape delay kind of based on the Maestro Echoplex EP3. And as well as that, we've got two great reverbs. So we've got Ambience, which is Line 6 Dynamic Ambience, which is one of the new reverbs. And really key here, we've got Dynamic Hall, which is an incredible sounding reverb from the Helix. So that's great to see as well. And there's a looper built in. So that's the Pod Express Black. If you're wondering, like, could this thing actually be giggable? The answer is kind of yes. It's got the foot switch 3 and 4, which are kind of flexible. I actually kind of did this in a video with the normal Pod Express, where I kind of thought, well, what could we do with this? So if you check out the manual and maybe check out that video, you can actually foot switch things like the delay or the drive and that sort of thing. So you could have, you know, a couple of presets, which switching between presets is a case of pressing this and then you kind of go up or down presets. And then you could have your external foot switches. The other thing is you could put in a volume pedal and that side of things. I think it's actually a cool little idea. And at first I thought it was a little bit of a gimmick, but then I checked them out and I think actually as a backup or as something that's going to integrate into a pedal board, they're really a pretty decent idea. And for the money, a really decent idea too, because things like the Pod Go, the HX Stomp XL, all of those are going to require like special sorts of power and cables and stuff, whereas these are just very easy to power. They also have a battery compartment if you want to do that. So certainly as a backup, or you know, if you need to go direct to front of house for certain stuff, then they might not be a bad shout at all. You just integrate them into a pedal board like you would like a Strymon Iridium or a UA pedal and that sort of stuff. In particular with the Black, I think it's a bunch of pretty cool sounding amps. The presets on here were made by Igor Stolasky, who does sound for Animals as Leaders and Sonic Symphony. A very clever guy, terrible human, but a clever guy nonetheless, who has ears for tone and ears for mixing and stuff. If you ever check out his live mixes of Animals as Leaders, they sound absolutely bonkers. So yeah, that's the Pod Express Black. Thank you for sponsoring this video, Line 6. It's nice to work with them finally. And yeah, if there's any negatives to this, I guess the value for money versus something like a Pod Go or the HX Stomp is not necessarily quite there, but it is a different product, and they actually do pack in, I think, a fair amount. You've got quite a lot of flexibility in there, and especially with the editor, which I think is a real masterstroke. You can get in and get most of the parameters of like the amps and drives and delays and reverbs and modulations. And not only that, you can get into the cab and apply high cuts and low cuts, which I think is really useful for shaping the tones and getting great tones out of these. In most of this video, I was actually using stock presets, and that goes to show that they sound pretty good. The other thing that you can do, and I did this for one of the lead tones, was just turn off the cab here and run it into Helix Native, and Helix Native was running my normal cab and delay and reverb. So you could use this with an external cab loader or something like that if you were looking for that sort of thing, and just use this for preamps because it can't load IRs. That's the other little blind spot actually. But yeah, Pod Express Black is now a thing, so check that out if you want to. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you can think of some products that do the same thing, if you want to shout out them in the comments, and what you think of the Pod Express format in general. I guess you could even have a couple of these on your board in like a switcher. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Cheers for stopping by.